Welcome back to another episode of the Sit Down Talk. My name is Kier.
And I'm Noemie.
And we welcome you. Clap it up for you being here. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We missed y'all.
For sure. Definitely did. If this is your first time here, welcome. We about to have a dope conversation today. We don't know what it's going to be.
Never do.
But we know it's going to be dope. If you are a group of people who I like to refer to as the repeat offenders, welcome back, man. Ain't seen your beautiful face in so long. How you doing?
Somebody did mention
your mom right now?
On Instagram, they was like, I'm a repeat offender. And I'm like, wait, everybody doesn't know what that means.
Gotta relax. People need context when you going to jail. It's always funny that the different communities that we're part of got different inside jokes. Patreon community got completely different inside jokes than the Instagram folks who got different inside jokes than the
OG YouTube. Yeah, we did YouTube first. We had a YouTube before we had a channel, Instagram handle.
Yeah.
I think it's like the anniversary this month of our YouTube channel. We started in 2017. November 2017. Yeah, that was the New Jersey road trip. We posted that November 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021. It's been happy 4-year anniversary.
That's crazy. If you would have told me in the beginning of this whole journey that we'd be doing this for 4 years, I probably wouldn't believe you.
That's
I definitely
wild.
wouldn't believe that any of it would look like this.
We've been doing it. And the thing is, of course, we don't post every month, but we got a good number of videos out there, and to just be committed to this process and the way that it's changed. We started with the day in the life vlog. I don't know when we started the sit down talk. I think that was the next year.
It's hard to be consistent on YouTube though.
It is.
It's hard.
It is
man.
hard.
It's hard.
Especially when we have so many different avenues. We have the Patreon, we have your Instagram, we have my Instagram. And even within the Instagram content, we have the mental health content, the dad content, the Emery content, the mom content, the love content, the sponsored, partnerships and stuff like that. Yeah, that's multiple different businesses, but I don't know. I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's
too.
Amazing that we just have the opportunity to we didn't even talk about Facebook. We got Facebook too.
Oh, yeah, the Facebook.
I just think it's dope that we have so many outlets.
Why does this dude always want to start his motorcycle as soon as we start?
They don't hear it because when we edit it, everybody be like, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, nah, this is a better mic.
We
on a super good mic now. That joint picked up his heartbeat probably.
We're going to run on a tangent. Let's move on.
Noemie right now is 7 months pregnant. You want to show?
8.
Noemie now is 8 months pregnant. You want to show the people your bump? Baby, turn around.
It looks really small.
That's because you got to hit an angle on that joint. There you go. Yeah, the camera's not adding what it need to add.
It's big, y'all.
And she right here, too. I feel a foot. I feel something right here. Ooh, she in the front.
Don't touch too hard. I might have to pee. I am 8 months pregnant today.
Insane. So
pregnancy is 10 months. When people be like, 9 months. 40 weeks is 10 months.
Why do we say 9?
I don't know.
What we plan to talk about today, boo?
Therapy. But go ahead. Go down the rabbit hole first, and then we'll go into this.
I'm done. Rabbit hole.
Okay.
Yeah. Finish with that.
Well, I'm sure we'll end up in the parenting realm anyway, because that's just how we roll. Given the fact that we just said that we've been doing so much, and we just celebrated our 4 years of being on YouTube.
4 years of being on YouTube.
Yeah.
We just celebrated 2 years of being married.
Yeah, we did. And there's one more anniversary that's coming up.
What's that?
Kier's first year of being self-employed entrepreneur. Let's clap it up for you, baby. Y'all.
I'm still alive, but the skin of my teeth.
I have it in my calendar. You made the decision to quit your job this week last year.
Yeah.
And I think your last official day was some point
January
in January.
8th. I'll never forget.
Yeah, somewhere in January. But we made the decision. We looked at our... whatever. It's about to be a year. It's about to be a year in a couple weeks. I say that to say, while I am so proud of you, it's taken a toll on our individual lives, our relationship, our parenting arrangement, our mental health. It's really taking a toll. And I was just thinking the other day, especially with Kier's Patreon kind of ramping up, that it's been a minute since we've been in therapy. It's been I don't even remember the last time that it's probably been a year.
It's been about a year.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit over a year.
Yeah, it's been about a year since the last time that we were in some type of couples therapy, marriage therapy session. We've done individual therapy, but like therapy together. Yeah. It's been a minute. The decision to go into therapy is a very big step, but there's so much more that happens after that. So you have to make the decision to go. Then you have to figure out how to find the right therapist. Once you find the right therapist, you kind of go through whatever issue that you're going through. You learn the tools that you need to deal with
strategies.
That. And then I wouldn't say you master it, but you start to put those tools into practice. Mm-hmm. What I don't think I prepared for was, I think that we have a really good handle on how to communicate with each other, because that was the biggest issue, communication. Mm-hmm. We did not necessarily prepare for the new wave of issues that come with entrepreneurship and another baby.
Yeah. Especially when you already have a child.
Yes. Yeah. I just think that we worked really hard to get to a place to make those decisions and to trust each other when it comes to those decisions. But now there's just a whole new wave of issues that I'm not sure that I've never used the tools that I learned to apply. I never applied them. So it's just do we need to go back to therapy? Do we need to talk about these new issues? Because it's new. We never dealt with this before.
Yeah, let's set the tone before we start talking about our marriage, because this is the internet. And what the internet does sometimes is they read in between shit that ain't really there.
She not happy.
Yeah, exactly. And can I keep it a buck with y'all? Right now, the internet loves us.
Yeah.
But I'm not stupid.
That's not going to last
That's
forever.
not going to last forever. There's going to be a point where people are going to disagree with how we see things or how we go about things, and then someone's going to begin to go down the villain tumble.
Look at her face. She hates him.
Oh, you can tell at 0.32 seconds their whole marriage is a sham. So before we talk about this, we're about to talk about, you don't have to be a married person to understand any of this, but we're about to talk about not internet love, but love.
Yes.
And I feel like internet love is wearing matching Jordans and kissing under the rainfall and
which is the other day.
The way,
you said matching blue capes.
Saved me. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
And I wanted you to know.
Okay. While those are beautiful,
they are beautiful.
Moments,
I don't want to downplay it.
Yeah.
Marriage is not proposing to your girlfriend under a waterfall with a Burberry suit on.
No.
That isn't the extent of love. And the internet just doesn't capture that.
Yeah.
So there are going to be times where we're going to say things that it may sound kind of crunchy, but keep in mind, I absolutely love the relationship that I'm in, but I'm in a real ass relationship. Yeah. We don't like each other every day. So I just want you
I like you today, though.
I like you today.
Yeah.
I do like you today.
Yeah.
I do like you today. Do I like Emery today? I don't know.
I don't. I'll like her when she comes home. I didn't like her this morning at 6:00 in the morning with her freaking wants and not even her needs, just her preferences.
Her demands.
Her demands. And I don't like the way she talked to me this morning. It was way too early for all of that.
And I think that's powerful, because you can love someone and not like them situationally in the moment. And that's okay. That's a part of what this thing is.
Baby, I love you, because one day you're going to watch this. I love you, but I mean, you my child, so we got attitude issues. So.
Listen, we might have to cut that. The perfect parent's gonna kill us. I want you to take the blinders of what you've been taught to believe love and marriage is. That's not necessarily real, and when it is real, that's not all the time.
Right.
You're gonna have issues between one another that you're gonna have to figure out a way to deal with. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that we figure out how to deal with stuff is to throw everything out there and to just pick it apart bit by bit to see where we can change perspective or maybe change the way we do things a little bit. But it's not gonna be like, yeah, and she's my moon and my stars and the golden rainbow that falls beneath.
Why do you have to do all
because,
that?
Because, man, I said I'm a love skeptic on my Instagram, and my followers got mad.
Can we address that? So, Kier, okay. Let me just
People got so mad.
Let me intro.
How dare you?
Let me intro. It's not just the followers. Kier. We are very open with our relationship, but I feel like with you, clearly, with you, you're a lot more comfortable kind of talking about, the things that you feel. And I think what you forget is that a lot of people that are here now weren't there from the beginning.
Yeah, they don't have no context.
So they see this beautiful black couple who's like featured on all of these things and looking at each other and doing the laugh photo. You know what I mean? Like just like the cheesy lovey-dovey stuff. And then out of your mouth comes, I don't believe in love. And it's just, there's a
I can
disconnect.
see how that could be jarring.
There's a disconnect.
When you put it like that, I can see how that could be jarring.
So let's address, I'm gonna let you speak. I'll interject when necessary. But are you a love skeptic? Yes or no? And why or why not?
Am I a love skeptic? Do I believe that love exists?
Wait, can I ask clarifying questions as you talk?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. So do I believe that love exists? Yes. Do I believe that love is a powerful emotion? Yes. Do I believe in love at first sight? No. Do I believe that love conquers all? No. It's not that I don't believe in love or I'm skeptical of love. I'm skeptical in people's idea of love. Throughout my entire professional career, when people have this romantic ideology of what their love is supposed to look like, I always ask, where does that come from? Where did you get this expectation? Where does it build? 8 times out of 10 is going to be television and movies.
Yeah.
Things that are fictitious.
Or my grandparents.
Or my grandparents' love, which...
the surface level appearance of what their love looks like.
That needs to be its own sit down talk, because that's not what it necessarily looked like, and we don't live in the world that they did. Your granddaddy ain't had Instagram. You know, it wasn't as many distractions.
And we don't know everything about our grandparents' marriage.
Yeah, they didn't even cheat back then. They had a family across the river, a whole other family, and the woman better not say nothing about it when he get home.
Not to say that was your life. It's just it wasn't. Those weren't things that were openly discussed back then. So just because you may not know about it, or just because you're not aware of it, doesn't mean it didn't happen or it didn't exist more often than you might have
feeling
thought.
the rust for the sit down talk knocking off a little bit. All right, let me get into what I gotta say, because we going long here.
Yeah, sorry.
Basically, it's me going long. Basically, I don't believe in people's understanding or concept of what love actually is versus what they believe it's supposed to look like. I don't believe that people can properly make the distinction between love and infatuation. I don't believe that people can properly make the distinction between love and familiarity.
So you don't believe people can do that?
No, not appropriately, and not in large part. Individually, yeah, there are a lot of people who can. Oh, you mean
like as a society in the way that
as a society.
Love. Okay,
absolutely.
So I should be like, you don't know the difference.
I think
love it.
No one ever loved you right. Nah, that ain't what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is, how could you know something that you've never been taught? Love in our generation, our parents have no idea. They wouldn't know how to navigate this landscape. It's a completely different game.
Follow-up question. Then how do you know you love me?
Oh. Well, that needs to be his own sit down.
Well, I'm just saying, you're saying that, like, you know, if people don't know what it is, how can, like, if people don't see it, how can they know what it is? Feel it? Yeah, so what if
that's a really good question, actually.
Because I'm just challenging you, because I know how you feel about the way that society thinks about love, but I don't know. I just disagree. I'm going to say I disagree with what you believe. I disagree that you believe that. I think that that's the fairy tale idea of love, but I think that there are so many couples and real relationships and real marriages that are just like, nah, son, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I believe that, but in your experience, the couples that are like, nah, I get it, I'm there with you, and the couples who are far away from that, what do you experience more often than not? The couples that get it or the couples that don't?
I don't think that the couples that don't get it succeed. So the couples that I'm around that are still together get it.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's a small bubble of a small bubble of a small bubble.
Yeah.
If you ripple that out into larger society, you'll see a lot of couples don't make it. Relationships, by large part, don't make it because people's love ideologies be so far off. And it's not just love. It's an expectation of what you're supposed to do for me, what you're supposed to mean for me, what you're supposed to heal inside of me. I think that love needs to start with you. One of the reasons that we work is because we both work hard as hell on our individual stuff.
So would you say that, because I guess where I'm kind of confused is, like, I feel like people in marriages get that.
I don't.
So you know married people that are still living in this fairy tale?
Yes, absolutely. I think what people tell you is different than what people actually feel. I don't listen to what people tell me.
You are also a licensed professional.
Yeah, everybody's lying, baby. Everybody's a liar. It's so bad.
They're not lying to me.
Yes, they are. They're not going to therapy. They're not happy in their marriages. They're lying. And it's okay if you're not 100% happy in your marriage. It's not okay if you allow the facade of just being happy in your marriage to hold space for long enough that you don't actually fix those issues. And then you look up 10 years from now and y'all hate each other and you wondering why. Because every day something else built on top of that pile. I feel you. I want to believe that it's true too. But like I go out here, I counsel couples, I talk to people in real life, I have these conversations with women individually, I have these conversations with men individually, and the love ideology is off because the personal ideology is off.
So what makes the way that you feel about me, what is different about the way that you feel about me from what you view as society's interpretation of what love is?
Because my interpretation of love was completely negative before I really got close to you and I started to love you the way that I did. I believed in love, but I believed that romantic love for the most part was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it was like showy.
It was showy. It was very, it was fluffy. It didn't really have any substance to it. I also didn't know a lot of married couples that were in marriages that looked like something I wanted to participate in.
Got it.
So with you, it's different because we don't see eye to eye, and opposed to me just saying, you know what, I ain't with it, I'm gone, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I actually listen to the things that you have to say, even though they make me uncomfortable sometimes, even though they hurt my feelings sometimes. If it's for the growth and progression of our relationship, I'll listen, I'll internalize, and then I'll try to fix that for the sake of us.
You know what I mean?
Because I feel like it matters.
But I think it's also about approach and wanting to be in that relationship. I just know people that'll tell people about themselves, but it doesn't always come. So I don't want people to take this part and be like, I need to tell my partner about themselves.
No, don't do that. Please don't do it that way.
Let's walk them through this process.
Don't do it that way. Well, hold on. You make an interesting point when you say about you and about the relationship. I always told you I was never interested in the relationship. I wanted you.
Yeah.
I wanted you as a person. And we just had an interview with Essence Magazine, and they asked me this question. I wish I would have answered it better, but I think they asked me what my advice would be for men. I hate that question because we're all very different, but one of the ways that I knew Noemie, not the one, I don't believe in the one. The one is situational. It depends on where you are in life.
He's anti the one.
The one when you're 23 and the one when you're 33 are two totally different people. So how are they both the one? The one is situational. But with you, I knew that if you walked away, I'd spend the rest of my life comparing every woman I ever dated to you. Wow. And if that's the standard, you don't let the standard walk away. I like talking to those couples who been in marriages where they strong now, but they struggle for a while.
Yes, so do I.
I love talking to them because their concept of love is
those are our mentor couples.
Yeah,
like when I seek like fellowship with married women, that's what I look for. You know what I mean? I look for the women that have been married for 10 years, 15 years, and I'm like, tell me when it was messed up. How did y'all get back? Because I think a lot of times, we'll go back to when I say like we've been struggling for this year and what that means. But when I go to them and when I ask them about like how did you get back, like that's the goal.
Absolutely.
Like the goal isn't to never have an argument, to never have some type of disagreement, or to just never have any issues in your marriage. The goal is to like, what's that centering piece that's going to help you come back?
Absolutely agree.
You know what I mean? And then how do you strengthen that? I think a lot of times people are afraid of confrontation and afraid.
Good point, Noemie. Yeah, that's a really good point.
I just be talking. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Never thought about it like that, but it's that centering piece. What draws you back together when you're on two opposite sides? What is our centering piece?
I think it's going back to like love. I think it's the way that we love each other. Like I don't love you for my benefit. I love you for your benefit. You don't love me for your benefit. You love me for my benefit. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, but you know this from our first date. I've said it, and I have not wavered.
Look at y'all man right here. Look at y'all guy.
I love you in a way that I've never loved somebody. Like, it's not like I love you because you're my husband. I love you because I have kids with you. I love you because you're just an amazing person that I want to be around. And I feel like the fact that I get to be married to you and I get to create life with you is like, damn, I get to do that too. I don't know.
I don't feel like we're that far apart on this ideology, because the base of my whole love skepticism is, I think that people don't love people sometimes as much as they love the idea of people.
And I think the only reason why I'm not a skeptic is because when I look at my parents, they love each other for them. You know what I mean? Even at moments where they didn't like each other, my parents are divorced, by the way. Even at moments where they didn't like each other, they've always been there for each other, and it wasn't tied to their marriage. That's big. I've never seen
anything like that. But that also brings up a point of how we grew up in our environments.
That's my reality.
I've never seen my mom date anybody before, so of course I'll be skeptical about love and romanticism and the way that whole thing works.
Yeah. Like, I grew up with a solid unit. Not to say that I didn't suffer any trauma from their divorce. Not to say that they've never had their fights or their arguments or whatever. But at the end of the day, my mom always had my dad's back, and my dad always had my mom's back. There has never been a point in my life that I have seen that it's been anything other than that.
Yeah, they still pretty good with that, man.
So, like, even though they weren't together, I still wanted to be married, but that's the main thing that I wanted. I wanted somebody who really loved me for me and understood me and believed in, like, the betterment of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've truly found that in you, and you're the only person that I feel like has ever looked at me in that way.
What's dope is it didn't start that way.
I think it did.
I think.
Well, it did for me. I can't speak for you.
Listen, we done had a lot of talks about how our relationship started, and we were in two totally different relationships.
Totally different for about a year. We were in two totally different. Okay, maybe more, maybe more. We were, but I think I just came in with more knowledge about what I wanted love to look like than you did.
Yeah.
Like, even though we ended up at the same place, we just had different journeys of getting there, and I knew you would get there, baby.
You did? Yeah, you should have told me, because I was skeptical.
Not in the beginning, but I want to say, like, after we were together, we had a situationship for a year. The OGs know this. If you're new, we was doing our thing for about a year before, like, things even got mentioned of being official. But I think once we got to the official part, that's when I kind of saw, I'm like, ooh, this is different. And this is why we need to take this. Like, that's why our relationship either needs to change or we just need to cut it out, because this ain't going to work past this point.
And we both big on that. I'm not afraid to leave somebody for the sake of being alone.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. Mm-hmm. I can see if you do have that fear, how that can tie you to a relationship that's not working, or make you more heavily oriented towards the positive aspects of the relationship to get yourself in a place where you can, you can operate in this non-functional but very necessary to you relationship. I'm very fortunate to just not have that mechanism. Same. I have no problem cutting off a romantic relationship if I see that it's just not working and the attempts aren't working. And I
wasn't always that way, but I was that way with you. And I think it was.
You was fed up by the time you got to me?
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to be with nobody.
Yeah.
Y'all all suck. Y'all all dumb. Y'all don't know what y'all want. And I'm not here for it. So I think that benefited me, because had I not gone through the breakup that I went through before meeting you, my expectations in the relationship would have been completely different. We wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have made it.
Listen, man.
We wouldn't have made it. I literally came in with, I'm doing me. It's just fun doing you at the same time.
Oh, my God. That kind of segues into what we're talking about today when it comes to therapy and our own relationship and our own marriage therapy. And you're right, we haven't been for maybe a little bit over a year. And I'm a huge advocate of going to therapy, but I'm also a real person, and sometimes it's hard to fit therapy into a crazy life, kids and careers and your relationship and all the stuff that's continuously moving, but it's still important. We're lucky that we still got a lot of those tools and we still use a lot of those tools, but I'm afraid that we'll fall into this trap that people fall into when you only go to counseling when your relationship is in a really bad place.
Can I add something really quick? And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm against, thanks, babe. I'm against the whole, like, you have to go to therapy all the time. Because I think that, like, it's hard to do the work while you're in therapy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to go to class and then you have to study.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know that we'll ever be in that trap, only because, like, it's not like we go to therapy, we listen to what the therapist says, and we come home and be like, that person ain't know what the hell they was talking about.
Yeah.
And we go on with our lives.
Yeah.
We take every lesson that we learn from therapy, and the tools that we get aren't always tools that we can use immediately. They're tools to stop arguments and fights from happening before they come. Kier and I had a conversation about this last night before we, when we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about today. And I feel like if we had had that same conversation a year ago, we wouldn't have had the tools.
Man.
It would have turned into an argument. And it wasn't even an argument. It wasn't even something that we needed to argue about.
It was nothing to argue about. It's just a difference in perspective.
And we would have argued a year ago, and we would have beefed, and we wouldn't be making this video right now.
No.
I've learned ways to communicate things to you that, that consider how you want to be spoken to and vice versa.
I've noticed that. I
work on that. You know what I mean? I work real hard on that. I've noticed that.
I can tell. I see that because it's easier for me to accept the things that you say because the delivery is so palatable to me.
My delivery be trash, man.
Nah, it don't be trash. It's just
it used to be. It's okay. We're being honest. It used to be trash. I'm blunt as hell. Like, I am super blunt. I'll be like, let me just say what I gotta say, and I'll clean it up later.
Noemie.
And not worry about how it affects people in the moment. I used to be like that. I'm not like that anymore.
Noemie's blunt and sensitive, so she'll go hard, but you can't go that hard on her.
Talk to me nice,
like,
okay?
I call that the pit bull crybaby.
Napoleon. No, it's not the Napoleon complex, but yeah, it's like the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Like, my bark is loud, but chill.
As soon as a Rottweiler put that whole Chihuahua in his mouth, you're like, what you gotta do on that?
I'm not like that anymore.
No, you're not, man. It's gotten so much better, but the road to that better wasn't what you think it would be. The road to that better was a lot of beefing. It's her getting hers off the way she want to get it off, and me like, hey, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And then when she talks to me like that, my tone is going to change. So I'm going to respond to her that way. And then her response is,
shut down.
Don't talk to me like that. I'm done with this conversation. And now we got a whole bunch of static and nobody willing to talk.
Yeah.
And that wasn't working. So the next time we have a big disagreement, of course we always come back when tempers are a little less heated. Like, hey, look, this is the piece that I'm gonna take responsibility for. I said this shit. If I could do it over, I probably phrase it a different way. She tells me how it made her feel. I'm like, damn, my bad. That wasn't my intention. Here's what my intent was. And explaining your intent without being so defensive, which is hard, without being so defensive that you invalidate the other person's feelings. It's hard. It's like, hey, that's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry. Let me explain to you what I meant to do, as opposed to saying, that ain't what I meant to do. That's how you took it. What I'm trying to say is, like, that's not helpful. It's not a fight. It's a negotiation.
I think we're both a little sensitive, but, like, just speaking
I'm very
for me,
it's okay. You can say it.
I didn't want to.
I accept it.
Okay.
I accept that about myself.
But I'm also sensitive, and I feel like the way that I deal with that, because I think a lot of times when you're sensitive, you feel like you're being attacked whenever you hear any kind of criticism. But what I had to remember, and I actually learned this from work, is to seek, like, positive intent. You know what I mean? To assume positive intent. And it's like, this is my partner. This is my road dog. This is like, this is my person. Yeah. Do I really think he's out here trying to destroy me? Are you trying to kill me? Right. Like, do I really think that he really doesn't care?
Not how I feel.
Not how I feel. But do I believe that he does not care about me?
Yeah.
And then once I assume positive intent, I think of, well, I know my husband, and I know delivery isn't always his strong suit when he's upset or when he's overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Is this about me or is this about something else? 9 times out of 10, it's about something else. It's like, okay, so before I even address it, what can I do to help him? Because I'm upset about something that I made up in my mind. He's upset about something that's unrelated to me that's actually real. What can I do to take that off of him? You know what I mean? And like, that's my process. Don't get me wrong. I'll be mad as shit for like the first couple minutes. I'll be mad, like, you know what I mean? I'll be mad. I'm heated.
You're a person.
I'm heated, but then I have to think about it before I bring it to you. And it always helps.
Yeah.
And 9 times out, like, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but half the time I end up not even bringing it to you because I realize it's not an issue.
You solved it before it got to the floor.
But not even solved. It wasn't an issue. Like, you were pissed off about something that had nothing to do with me, and you just had a bad day, and I just happened to be in the line of fire. And then you notice it, and then you fix it. Like, for example, you watch TV with me. Like, you know, all I be wanting to do is be in the same room with you sometimes and have him not have him not fall asleep. Because I feel like falling asleep is the most disrespectful thing.
She
like,
gets so mad when I fall asleep,
especially during like our show. But like, you did it, and we spent hours just talking, and I'm like, that was the issue. That's all I needed. It's no longer a problem.
But that's the thing. So it's a give and take. Because you give me more leeway to be upset with things and not center yourself. I can make time for you because I don't feel like you're taking away when I already have nothing to give.
It has to be a two-way street.
That's the balance. Let me clear something up for you right now. Nothing we said is easy. Nope. Nothing we said is going to make you feel good in a moment. You're going to be mad. You're going to want to punch a wall.
You want to punch us. You're going to be like, they don't know what they talking about.
Listen, we get it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's effective for us.
Yes.
And I am very confident that it could be effective for you if you bring your own take to these strategies.
And if your partner is willing to, it has to be both ways.
Yeah.
You can't be alone doing these strategies.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Big facts. And this is only for healthy relationships. If you're not in a healthy relationship, this ain't going to work.
I don't know what to tell you.
Nothing is going to work because the relationship ain't going to work. And that may be hard to accept, but somebody listening to this right now knows that is a truth, and perhaps this will get your feet moving in a direction that'll work best for both parties.
Yeah.
Hate to get my therapist on, but I'm just saying, I love y'all.
Yeah.
I love y'all. I ain't about to let you be out here with your butt crack showing, all right? I'm going to tell you, pull that thing up.
Your butt crack.
Yeah, your butt crack. Absolutely. Nasty butt crack.
I was about to say, it's cold outside, too.
Yeah, you don't want a chilly butt crack. That's nasty.
Wow, I just really had a breakthrough. We did not talk about this specifically.
This ain't what we was going to talk about.
But that's how honestly, I just feel so much better after having that conversation because I didn't notice that I was going through those many steps. Like, I felt the progress. You know what I mean? I felt that I started understanding you differently. I just didn't know what I was doing for it to feel different. And I think talking it through, this is our therapy session sometimes. The sit down talk be our therapy. Like, it's the way that we analyze the tools that we've used in our relationship. And I feel very good about this one because I feel the growth.
I do too. The marriage is actually in a really good place.
Great place.
It's just all the other stuff around that puts the pressure on the marriage is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's new stuff. It's new stuff in a stronger relationship.
Let's talk about what it is.
Okay, where you want to start?
Damn.
It's really two
Crack
big things.
the can open.
It's two big things.
Give me your two big things.
The first big thing is the adjustment to work life and the fact that it strayed so much away from what we expected it to be.
Can we go into that a little bit?
Yeah. And I'm just going to say my second one so that we have a place over. The second one is the parenting relationship.
Parenting is the hardest part of marriage.
Ain't even here again.
Listen, man, marriage is one thing. Marriage added on to it, the bonus of parenting is a completely different thing. It's adding a third person into your relationship.
Who don't care.
They don't care about your relationship at all. And the funny thing is,
you or your relationship.
And they take priority over your relationship sometimes. Hey, listen, we can play the whole who comes first in your relationship, God, your wife, your daughter. Listen. I don't
Remember
know
what we said, us? We were idiots.
Ideally, yeah, we come first in our relationship.
I would love it to be Kier, but if E is asking me something at 6:00 in the morning, I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, babe, I'm cuddling with daddy right now. No, I'm gonna roll my butt out of bed. I'm gonna be like, so you got this or I got this?
Yeah.
One of us gonna be mad anyway.
You know what? I think people don't think that married people co-parent.
Oh my God. That is true. Because people co-parenting, we have to figure out what that definition is. Because I've heard like people say like, oh, my husband babysits. No, your husband doesn't babysit.
No.
Your husband is a whole parent.
That's your child.
And
you don't
some
babysit
people
your child,
have
bro.
relationships where one parent makes the like decisions with the children and another parent might make the financial decisions or something like that. I think it just depends on your marriage and how you guys work it out. We have a co-parenting relationship. We take equal stock in this child.
Absolutely.
And we tag team each other in and out.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have that relationship.
And that might not be beneficial for your relationship.
Right.
That's why I don't like the whole binary. There's one way to love someone. There's one way to do relationships. Nah, however you set up your finances, that's on y'all. If it works for you, cool.
Yeah.
However you set up the arrangement of how you do parenting, cool. It's whatever works for you as long as it works for both parties involved.
We got a co-parent.
Yeah, like, that's just. I'm glad we see. We just so happen. We lucky. We see eye to eye on that. But yeah, that's just.
We got lucky.
We can't. Nah, nah. That's right. I can't. Nah.
It's more of like a juggling than it is a balance. I've never reached balance. I don't even think I should reach balance because is balance 50-50? Or is it 70-30? I feel like when people think work-life balance, they think 50-50. Work will not ever be 50%. I'm not going to say ever, but it's not right now.
Yeah.
It's not right now.
I think that goes back to tying it to your personal ideology of how things go. For me, work-life balance is different.
Yeah, it's different.
Because this job isn't the same job I had a year ago.
No.
The social media thing, I don't know what it looks like from the outside, but it's a lot harder than people think. There's a reason that there's only a handful of people who really make it to that huge level of social media fame and notoriety. It's very, very hard.
My family has to come before my job because of the way that our dynamic is. Like, it has to be a priority because the money, you know, like, it's not even just a money thing, but it's just like the work part of it leans so heavily on Kier's shoulders that if we need this family to run in a way where it makes sense, that's where I have to pick it up. That's just what it is. You
and
know
I
what
appreciate
I mean?
you not making me feel bad for that.
I that's my goal. My goal is to never make you feel bad for it because I get it. I get it.
It's tough, and that's kind of the burden TD Jakes talked about. Damn, I'm quoting TD Jakes. TD Jakes talked about it. The burden of being a man is the time versus money.
Yeah.
If I'm always home, I have the time, but we don't have the money.
Yep.
If I'm out making the money, I don't have the time and I'm never home.
Yeah.
You can't have both. Specifically, young men, specifically if you're looking to make good money, you're not going to be home like that.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have a partner to balance that out, but it's also incumbent on me to make sure I don't take advantage of that because I know I work a lot. There's times where I got to say, hey, y'all just gonna get a picture of me smiling on this ad because I need to spend some time with my family, or I got to edit tonight. Nah, I'm gonna sit and watch Insecure with my wife and we're gonna sit up and talk for 3 hours. That's the balance. It's not going to be any one thing every time. It's just this hodgepodge of what you can make fit into the available time and bandwidth that you have. You just got to be aware of what's going on with all the people around you, and that shit hard. It's hard. Really hard. It's very difficult to juggle,
and it's hard for both of us because that's not how we entered this relationship. It was very much 50-50.
Yeah.
For the majority, there was a point of time where we were making the same salary. So it was literally like we were putting in the same money into the joint account and all of that stuff. And I think that we also
they not gonna like that.
What? I know.
You know, the whole you paying the same amount of money. He's supposed to pay all the bills. It depends on what your situation
I'm
looks
also
like.
trying to be mindful of my face and my attitude. Hey, it worked. We good. We in a really good place right now.
You let Twitter tell you how a marriage supposed to work, all right? And you're gonna be
just do you.
You're gonna be real unhappy.
Do you and holler at me. Holler at me and let me know how it's working for you. But anyway, back to what I meant was the transition from us having, because I was very listen, I'm not getting into this right now. I just got pissed off.
Oh, that's gonna bring.
I just got pissed off.
Yeah. You got me. You got me. That was good.
But I walked into this relationship very much into the mindset, I am a lawyer. I worked hard for my money. And I'm an equal contributor to this marriage. Maybe not financially, in all cases, but I'm like, you're not about to tell me what not you specifically, but
talking.
you're not about to tell me what I can and cannot do because I own this as well,
I love an independent woman got her own money and mindset.
However, this year changed everything, and I struggled with that. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, where it's like now the financial responsibility of taking care of our family, like I said, leans so heavily on your side now, and now I'm just like, well, what do I get to do? You know what I mean? And it's just like I can, work super hard to try to meet you where you're at financially, but in my experience doing that's taking time away from the family. And like I just think that when you become a professional and finances and families kind of come into play, like you can't have 100% of both. You can.
I agree.
I mean, some people can, but we're not in a position.
We're not those people.
We're not those people.
But you know what though, babe? Like real talk, it's one of those things where women for so long have been made to be the subordinate character in the relationship. I understand why so many women reject that ideology. I get
Even though you don't do that to me. I'm just like, nah, I gotta.
But you know what? I understand that. You know who changed my mind on the supportive partner thing? Who? Tabitha's husband, Chance.
Ooh, that's a great example.
Chance, man. Shout out to Chance Brown, man. That's my dog. But he just has a brilliant mind around supporting your spouse. And I understand that right now, this is kind of like my time for us to eat as much as we can. There may come a time where the roles will be reversed and I'm going to have to support you in your endeavors. So this is, you're really drawing a roadmap for me to see what that supportive partner looks like, because I wouldn't know otherwise.
I know that that's an internal struggle. And I know that had we not built the tools, or at least had we not gotten the tools that we needed from therapy, this would have been bad. This would have been a really bad. We would have bumped heads. My insecurities would have spilled out. You know what I mean? So I recognize that's something that I'm going through, which is why, I didn't plan on talking about this, but I worked my butt off to take an extra month of maternity leave off. Just so I had, I need a minute.
Need a breather.
I need a minute to wrap my mind around what is happening. What does this look like for our family? Because it's completely different than how it was with E. How do I, resolve some of those issues that I'm having with my new role in this family with 2 kids? You know what I mean? With a husband that's an entrepreneur in a, not so standard type of workplace role and title.
And now it's globally recognized.
Yeah,
because that's the thing too.
Now it's like, not to be like extra, but it's like, you're famous. Like, people know you. Like, I can't, people recognize you. People talk to my daughter as if they know her. You know what I mean? Like, we are, I wouldn't say we're definitely not household names, but we are like locally known at least.
It's so Noemie doesn't leave the house.
I don't go nowhere.
And she don't talk to people outside of her circle. So she doesn't understand how many people know us. Right. I've been traveling
until I go out and they're like, Noemie Gaines. I'm like, what?
Who are you, stranger?
Emery be like, that's a stranger. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
No, it's crazy. I haven't walked through an airport yet and the TSA person didn't know who I was with sunglasses, a hat, and a mask on.
Asking to take photos. And I'm just like, yo, like, okay. And then I'm also struggling with like, well, what does that mean for like our family and security and what's next? And it's just like, and the opportunities are just, I mean, like, we're not done. Like, we got stuff in the works.
It's about to get like crazy next year.
It's just not public yet. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of adjustments and going back to what we talked about in like before about making sure that center is strong. it's like our bubble is just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And sometimes it feels like we're further away from that thing that centers us. So it's like, I still got to make sure I'm able to find my way back. I got to make sure that you can find your way back. Because it's just, it's so different. Like, I feel like we've lived 5
so
lives.
many lives. We lived at least 3 lives in the last 2 years.
And it's just like, okay, well, all right, I have to remember at the end of the day, you're my partner. I have to remember at the end of the day, we need to make sure we can get back to each other in the center. You know, and not to say that anything has happened, you know what I mean, to prevent that from happening. I just got to make the disclaimer.
Their marriage is almost over. But it's a shame.
No, I just say all of that to say, like, I see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I see where the priority needs to be. And I'm glad that we caught it now and not, 6 months from now when we're drowning. Because we about to be drowning. But at least we about to be together. We can figure out how to hold this shit afloat. Yeah. But it's just like, it's about to get nuts.
It's Pastor Mike Todd said that. He said that every...
Okay, I'm just saying, you quoting a lot of pastors... and you preaching.
Relax.
And I'm
Let's
just,
settle down.
Foreshadowing. Go
Let's
ahead.
settle. What?
Go ahead.
Foreshadowing what?
I'm just saying.
Nah, foreshadowing what?
You're gonna have a congregation.
A congregation. You talking about me being like a religious leader?
I didn't say religious, but I just said that you are going to.
My family thinks that I'm going to end up being like a preacher of a mega church one day.
Not a mega church. I think it's
like
going
Mason
to.
Betha?
I think that 10 years from now, the way to compare it is going to be on some mega church type of stuff. But I just think that you are creating a platform that is very, very similar in that sense, where it's a group of people that are coming together, that trust each other, that are seeking some type of guidance from you. How is that any different than what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
It's just a different platform.
I guess you're right.
It just doesn't have religion written on it. But what is religion?
Okay. All right. Damn, you right. So Pastor Mike Todd said that every June he takes the summer off. I don't know if he still does it. He's like this on Instagram, huge mega church, big personalities, really successful pastor. And he said something one time. He said success can be traumatizing. And when he said it, I was like, what? Like, how is that possible? And it's because when we think of success, we think of it from the outside. And we think of, oh, wow, look at that person's success. Look at all the things they accumulate. Look at all the people who know who they are. And then we think about it from the grandiose perspective. Wow, it must be really nice to have that many people know who you are. What we forget is that it's a job that they have to do every day. My calendar is crazy.
It is.
I talk to my team 10, 15, 25 times a day sometimes.
A day. And not sometimes, every day except for Sunday.
We need to do it behind the scenes so people can know what it looks like to plan all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you stop by today and you took something away from what we're saying, please let us know in the comments what you heard, what resonated with you, what you disagree with, kind of where you are with things.
And give us some follow-up questions too. Can I ask a question about Patreon? You know the question I'm about to ask.
Go ahead. I know we're trying to land this plane and wrap it.
Right. If you're not already subscribed to his Patreon, you should be. And one thing that I want to do...
Thanks, babe.
Is you see how I've been plugging it? Like I keep, bringing it
up. Shit.
I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But what I want to do is do live sit down talks on the Patreon.
Yeah.
That will end up. I mean, they'll end up on YouTube, but like then we can have like live conversations as they go.
Yeah. Let us know if y'all be down for that.
I really want to do this, but I need y'all's support. Like I need you to be like, yes, sis, like let's do it. And not to say that I'm trying to like hijack your Patreon or nothing like that, but I just want an opportunity to have these talks because there are mental health related. And I just feel like when we have these conversations, it's just our experience.
Yeah, I would love to get your input live while we're talking. You'll be sitting right there in this little spot.
Yeah.
We put you right there, get you a nice little place to sit, and then you can watch it live so you can hear all the stuff that we edit out and all that.
I think that'll be super dope. But let us know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. But thank you again for checking in with us. I have no idea where this video ended, but hey, the conversation is always ongoing, okay? Like it kind of is what it is. I'm just glad to be talking to y'all, to be honest.
For sure. Yeah, thank y'all for stopping by. Oh, damn, how we in this joint? It's been too long. I got a different sign out for too many things. 3 things got a different sign out. Baby. But we say something before that. Oh, got it. Make sure that you hit, damn, it's been so long, it feels good to say this. Make sure that you hit the notification button so that you can know of all of our posts as soon as they post. And also make sure that you hit the subscribe button, I think is what I'm supposed to say. Yes, because this is YouTube.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram. Noemie Games and Kier Games.
Our names.
Yeah.
It's going to be down in
somewhere,
the joint below.
You know, yeah, somewhere down there.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time. We're going to try not to make shit. We're going to... All right, y'all. We're going to catch you next... Shit!
What's happening?
My mouth isn't doing what my brain tells it to do. We're going to catch y'all next time. And I don't know what else to say, so I'm going to just snap.